Season 7, Episode 7, The Dragon and the Wolf. This is the season finale. Everything this season has been building to. Now, I think this was a very, very, very good finale. I really love this episode. Doesn't beat The Winds of Winter, but doesn't need to, because this was still a fantastic episode. A lot went down, and there's a lot we need to talk about. I think I'm going to break this up just because it's a lot to talk about. I think we'll mainly start with what happens in King's Landing before we go anywhere else. Just the main big chunk of King's Landing that we get for pretty much the first part of the episode. So, like I said, we start in King's Landing, and we get this great reunion of characters. People seeing people they didn't expect to see. The Hound and Brienne was great. Seeing Podrick and Tyrion reunite was pretty heartwarming, and little moments between Bronn and Tyrion was great too. He's saying how they're back and forth banter, and the fact that they missed each other. The Hound and Brienne saying they were both trying to protect the same person. Great character moments like that, and very nice build up to this meeting in the Dragon Pit, which is the first time it's appeared in the TV series. It's been mentioned in the books. I think it may have been mentioned in the television series. I'm not entirely sure. But anyways, we get to the Dragon Pit. Cersei, Euron, Jaime, the whole court sitting there. Tyrion, Sir Davos, Jon Snow, that side of Daenerys' side of it. Daenerys isn't there yet. Daenerys, makes quite an entrance by flying in on her dragon, which wasn't necessary, because if Cersei's bitch ass tries anything, you got a dragon. But Jon Snow goes on his the Great War speech, and so basically the shit's real. And the Hound brings up, there was a great little moment between the Hound and the Mountain before that, but let's get to the meat of this. The Hound brings up the White Walker, or the White, and shows Cersei. What I love about this moment is that Cersei shows an actual moment of fear when this dead thing is rushing out. For a split second, Cersei loses her composure, which is very interesting to see. This is not something, Cersei is not easily shaken, yet she was trying to, you could tell this, it was very subtle acting by Lena Headey with the dragon, that there was very subtle, you could tell she was not afraid of the dragon perhaps, but she was slightly in awe at it. But she remained her composure there, but she breaks for a second when the dad comes at her, and she acknowledges, yes, oh my god, that is the greater enemy, but the problem comes with, she says that Jon Snow cannot take up any arms against the Lannisters, and Jon being the honorable. And what I love here is all the shout outs to Ned. Ned Stark's presence really looms over the entire season. Ned Stark is mentioned a lot. I mean, he's mentioned a lot throughout every season, but he's mentioned particularly heavily this season, and particularly heavily this episode. She emphasizes on the fact that she wants Jon's word to not take up swords against the crown, because she knows that she can trust the word of the son of Ned Stark. And Jon, being the honorable fool, being true to his word, says that no, he's already sworn allegiance to one queen, and Cersei naturally gets pissed off. And speaking to a moment earlier, but a little before that, was Euron Greyjoy, who immediately went to make dwarf jokes about Tyrion. He saw the dead guy, and he bailed. Allegedly. We'll get to that later. But Cersei's like, yeah, no, fuck you, dude. You gotta go. Gotta go. You guys can deal with this problem on your own. And then, Tyrion goes up to Jon like, God, you idiot. Can you just learn to lie for one thing? I love what Jon says here when he says, if we keep lying, eventually our word means nothing. And it's just so true to who Ned Stark was. He really is morally Ned Stark's son, and it's just great writing. And I really thought it was good. And even Danny and Jon have a little tense moment there where She may not necessarily like that he did that, but she was sure turned on by the fact that he did, that he showed that loyalty to her, and she respected it. But now we have Tyrion going to talk to Cersei, and I think one of the best scenes of the series, and it was great to see these two actors together again in the scene, because Tyrion and Cersei was easily some of the best parts of the first few seasons. Their interactions together, the reason that the tension you can feel between these two, the hate that they have for each other, and just the absolute emotion portrayed in this scene was fantastic. Lena Headey and Peter Dinklage are easily two of the best actors. You know, Tyrion gets emotional, tells to kill, asks Malcolm to kill him, that he drinks, and he says he's sorry for the death of her children. She acknowledges he doesn't kill Joffrey, but she feels that he's responsible in some way, which I disagree with, because Cersei hadn't sent Jaime to take Myrcella back from Dorne, Prince Dorne would have protected her. And Tommen was her fault. She killed Marjorie. Yeah, she can make the argument that he left the Lannisters vulnerable, but other than that, she really plays him by rubbing her stomach, all that. But Tyrion goes to tells them, like, yeah, my sister will fight, she'll join us, or she comes, I'll join us, she'll send our armies north. And then we get to the part with Jaime, where she talks with Jaime and his chambers, or in her chambers, and says, do you really think Euron Greyjoy? No, he's gonna go get the Golden Company. We're not giving up these lands. Let them kill each other. And he's like, dude, like, if the Army of the Dead wins, they come for us. If they win, they come for us. There's no situation where we win this. And she's like, no, I got Euron going to get the Golden Company. We'll be fine. And Jaime refuses. He says, I'm going to keep this vow. And just the arc of Jaime's character is absolutely fantastic of how much he's changed. He would not have given a shit a few seasons ago. And now he's, besides a few flaws, he's a man with honor. And he plans, and he basically betrayed and brokenhearted when his sister was on the verge of killing him, and that's the breaking point for him, and he leaves. And this is towards the end of the episode, but we now see the winter is here in the south. It is snowing in King's Landing, which is absolutely crazy. And I just want to say I really enjoyed this entire King's Landing sequence. I realized that last part of it didn't really happen in the scene, and it was broken up, but I really loved everything in King's Landing. I thought it was very good callbacks, very classic Game of Thrones with the dialogue and political intrigue. And I like how Cersei did not just say, yup, let's band together and go fight. I like how Cersei stayed true to her character, and how we now have Jaime leaving, and the story is very open. I'm not sure where it's going to go from here, but we now go to, I believe, let's go to Winterfell. Winterfell, looking a little rough for the Stark sisters right now. Littlefinger's in Sansa's ear, telling her, what is the worst thing you can imagine Arya doing? That's what she's gonna do. That's what I do. That's how I figure out somebody's motives. And I think it must have clicked in Sansa's head right then, like, really? Because then she must have thought to herself, why are you here? What are you doing here? Why are you talking? Why does this concern you? Oh, huh. Well, you've always been a little touchy. You've loved my mom. You moved on me basically since my mom was dead. You wanted to be intimate with me because of my hold on, because of my claim to the north. And conveniently, you're dividing us. Or conveniently, a note has suddenly appeared that could divide us. He taught Sansa well. Teach a woman your game and she'll play it better. But Yeah, Littlefinger was not happy when she went, "You are accused of treason and murder, Lord Baelish." The look on his face was priceless, and I found it very stunning to see Littlefinger break down onto it. I love how before that, I love how Sansa went. Do you deny it? You murdered, you conspired and betrayed our father. Do you deny it? You killed our aunt Lysa. Do you deny it? You started the conflict between the Lannisters and the Starks. Everything happened because of Peter Baelish. And it's just amazing to see this guy break down on his, or stunning and shocking. You'd think you would never see Littlefinger in this place on his knees begging, crying for mercy, just because the guy is so conniving and smart that he keeps all of his enemies in front of him. He never gets outmaneuvered, yet he taught this girl, he let this girl in on too much of how he works. He took on an apprentice, and his apprentice took him out. She sentenced him to die. Arya slit his throat, and a very satisfying and poetic end to Littlefinger, as the knife that he created chaos with ended his life. The entire series basically happened because of Littlefinger. So it was very, very poetic. I liked it very much. And the scene with Arya and Sansa on the castle walls was very touching after. The little sisterly love, and they're both waiting for Jon to come back. A little shout out to Ned Stark again with her saying she's the executioner, and she passed the sentence. So together because Ned Stark said that the one who swings the sword should pass the sentence. And then they're both keeping the legacy of Ned Stark alive, even though they combine together to keep everybody's keeping the legacy of Ned Stark alive. Is the symbolism. And then another callback with the lone wolf dies, but the pack survives. Another nice callback to Ned Stark in the first episodes of a few seasons. But again, staying in Winterfell, we go to Bran and Sam. Bran mentioned that Jon Snow's father is Rhaegar Targaryen, which we have suspected for a while, but it's still really great to get the confirmation. And actually, before we go to the next part, we're gonna jump over to Dragonstone first. Jon Snow, Dany, Tyrion, they're back. They're talking about their plan and how to move their armies, meet up with the Dothraki at the King's Road, all that good stuff. But the scene that's worth talking about there, and I think is very great with a lot of nice, very good acting, is the scene between Theon Greyjoy and Jon Snow, about how Theon goes to Jon Snow seeking forgiveness, and just the acting by Alfie Allen is incredible. The subtlety in his facial emotions and the subtlety in his emotions. He said, "I'm sorry for what I did to you. I'm sorry." And Jon Snow says something very deep that, like, I can't seek forgiveness you're doing, but I can't give you the forgiveness for everything you did, but I can give you forgiveness for basically what I hold against you. And your dad may have been Balon Greyjoy. Your blood dad may have been Balon Greyjoy, but your father is Ned Stark. You are much as a Stark, as much as a Greyjoy." And I thought that was beautiful. And he said he needed to go find Yara, and Jon's like, "Why are you still talking to me?" And it was just a great moment for Theon, a great scene between these two. And I'm gonna say, I think it was a bit of a goodbye to Theon. I really do think Theon will die next season. I think Theon looked up to Jon. He thought Jon did every right step. He was inspired to be Jon. He was inspired by Jon to do the right thing, even though it didn't exactly go right. So just the dialogue there, and Theon finding this bravery within himself when he fights that guy. And when he keeps getting up after being hit, and finally, gets him, have no nuts work to his advantage, and he finds the inner courage and beats the shit out of that guy. I don't know, that sweet moment between him and Jon, and that moment of courage just leads me to think that something's not going to go exactly right in rescuing Yara. I think he's going to sacrifice himself for Yara. Alfie Allen, fantastic actor. Theon, I think, easily one of the best character arcs in this series. And it's gonna be a bummer, because I really do think we will be saying goodbye to Theon in season 8. And then now we go back to Winterfell. Bran, tells him, Sam, that Jon's a Targaryen. So we get to Winterfell, and Sam comes in to talk to Bran, and he's like, "Yo." He's like, "I'm the three-eyed raven now." Sam's like, "I don't know what that means. Sounds cool though." He's like, and Bran's like, "I can see shit from shit back then, shit now, yada yada." But he's like, well, because Jon needs to know the truth that he is the son of Rhaegar Targaryen and Lyanna Stark. He's not a bastard of the North. He's a bastard of Dorne. His last name should be Sand. And Sam's like, "No, nigga, that's not what it is. Rhaegar had his marriage annulled to Elia, and the king of the North is actually the heir to the Iron Throne. He is Aegon Targaryen. Lyanna Stark and Rhaegar married in a secret ceremony in Dorne, making Jon the legitimate heir to the Iron Throne." Which is really awesome. We suspected this awesome, great moment, and it's intercut with Bran narrating at the same time while Dany and Jon finally hook up and make incestuous but kind of hot love. It's weird. I don't know how I feel. Don't judge me. But yeah, we get that great reveal, and I really like that Tyrion is there outside with... I don't see him as some people... My dad thought he looked conflicted. To me, it looks like Tyrion looks disappointed. He is upset that his queen has made another fatal mistake, that this union between them, much like Rhaegar and Lyanna's union, is something that was forbidden. They're not allowed to be in love. The fact that when Jon's true lineage comes out, this is going to complicate things personally between Daenerys and Jon, but it's going to complicate things politically. So it's going to be something they're going to have to live with going forth now that they hooked up when they find out Jon's real lineage. So that's going to be interesting to see how that plays out in the next season, which makes me... Oh, dude, I just wish they would spend or something. I'm willing to guarantee HBO would be willing to give them at least a few more episodes. At least give them 2 more episodes at most. At least 8 episodes. Because I just feel like there's so much they still have to cover. But, let's talk the final scene of this episode real quickly. Holy shit. The wall has come down. We always knew that there would kind of be an undead dragon. We didn't know it would happen that way, with our hearts literally shattering into 1,000 pieces. But once the Night King brought that dragon back to life, we knew how the wall was going to come down. We always kind of knew it would. We just didn't know how. And this way makes the most sense, and it was the most satisfying way, and it was the most cool way, and it was the most, oh shit way. I don't know about y'all, but when I saw that dragon, I heard it, I knew, I had a pit in my stomach. I was like, oh god. Just the mistake and the menacing and absolutely terrifying aurora they've managed to build around the White Walkers across all these seasons made me... I was actually in dread. I was fearful. I was like, oh my god. It's along with the score, which made it more epic as the dragon just crushed the wall. And then the music stopped for a second and then rose back up as the dead marched through the wall. The tone of the scene, the setting, everything was perfect, and it was a great moment, a perfect setup for the 8th season, just seeing the huge army of the dead march into past the wall with the dragon flying over them, and now winter has truly come. The army of the dead is coming. And I really overall thought this was a very satisfying finale. I loved it. It's making me incredibly excited for the final season, and a little sad because I'm going to be sad to see Game of Thrones go. But while the story of these characters end next season, I guarantee
that we will be visiting Westeros. Next season will not be the last time we sit down and tune in and get lost in the world of Westeros. So I really love this. So with that being said, I really love this season. It's one of my favorites. I hope you guys enjoyed it too. And I'm gonna try reviewing different stuff more often. I want to really get good at this. I feel like my reviews have been pretty mediocre so far. I feel like I can do better. But regardless, I'm gonna try to review more stuff, and I will be back definitely to review the final season of Game of Thrones. So I will see you with Game of Thrones content probably in 2019. So look out for more reviews, which I'm going to try to do. And you guys have a great day.